Welcome to the Impactors Podcast. I'm Corey Carter.
And I'm Ron Cool.
And we are the owners and founders of Hindsight HacKing Media, agency, podcasts, funnels, graphics, and more. Head on over to gethhm.com to learn more.
Guys, we created this podcast to help you go create an impact today. Not tomorrow, not yesterday, today. We're taking all the fluff, all the BS out so you can go create an impact.
And today's topic is
finding your who, getting the right people on your team.
Yes. So this is a funny concept, right? Because Ron, you and I have had jobs, we've had careers, and we've built big teams across the US. And again, these were in-person businesses. These were, I see somebody come meet me for an interview in person.
You recruit them.
Yep. You recruit them, you train them, you then, evaluate their work, ongoing in person. And a lot of those things transfer in the online space as you're finding people across the globe. But there's a few things that don't. And so I'd love your take on just, kind of your experience with building teams locally to now as we've built a team for our company.
So I think it's interesting you actually even started that way, because that's how I was going to start. So if you think about like real world, like out, not online, and we're recruiting people and we're getting a skill set with a training program, right? So we're going to train you to do the role we're hiring you for, but you have these certain skills that we need on the team to complement the team, right? Because when I look at team members and build a team, I'm looking for complementary pieces that can help the team move forward and be stronger together as a team. Now, the difference with finding the right who on your team in this world, you're searching for people that have the skill set, knowledge, and the ability to do something that you can't do, or you aren't as good at as that person, because they're the subject matter expert you're trying to find on your team. So you've heard me say it since we've known each other forever. I try to find the best people to put on my team, surround myself with amazing people, and have it a big cog so it never goes flat, because everyone has amazing skill sets that they can offer. Right. This is even more important than that, because those skill sets, that's their livelihood. That's how they feed their family, is the skill set. So for me to hire that person and say, okay, we'll just use video editing because I do video editing, and we find a video editor. I try really hard to just let them be creative. I don't want them to just copy my style, because what's the point? They're not going to be fulfilled because they're creative. Right. So I think it's interesting you started down that direction, because that's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah. I mean, I found it, I got to say, growing up in the world of corporate and having employees, and, you could interview somebody and know within 5 minutes if they're going to be a good fit for the team. They might have the skills, but they might not have the rest that you need, right? Or they might have what you need, but no skills. And you can see that through an interview. And I kind of found it, I found it different as we built a team online, because again, we have people all over the globe, and it went away from my safety net of a local US person to, will this person in, across the globe be able to understand, right? And it's, it was almost just that nervousness, just because of not knowing. And so it was pretty crazy to go through this. And then we truly have found top-notch people. And it makes me think that there is so many amazing people all over the entire planet that, when you're building locally, you're just stuck to what's in that city.
Yep.
Right. And so it just, it's been a pleasant surprise for me
Right.
to find, people in Turkey and India and Bangladesh and just all over. And it's just so fun that you can have amazing people all over the place. But I think another question though, that when building a team and finding the right people, you and we were in a position where we built the team too late.
Yeah,
Think
absolutely.
we were a little behind that eight ball. And so I'd love to hear your take on how does somebody avoid the pitfall? Because there's two problems, right? You either build too soon or build too late. And
Right.
it's hard to find the exact right point. But I know we were way late. So let's share your take on that one.
Gosh, man. I mean, looking back in hindsight, different show. Um, it's it's hard to say exactly when we probably should have started hiring, because I think once we realized it, we were already too late at that point, right?
Yeah.
So you have to go back even farther than that point. And we wanted to, we didn't know how to go about it. So we found a who to help us with that situation, right?
Yeah.
And understand, in order for you to hire the right who, you have to be willing to let something go that you're doing. And I don't know if we were willing to do that. So in essence, we had to fire some who's to bring some who's on, and we had to fire ourselves to bring some people on in order to scale how we've scaled, because we weren't, I know I wasn't, I'm gonna speak for you, like I wasn't ready to give up some stuff. I'm
Yeah.
a
I mean,
control
both of
freak, I
us were
guess.
there. Like
Yeah.
we, from all the aspects of your job, there's too many pieces and you don't have enough time to do it. At no point did we ever say we don't want to do it.
Right.
Right. There was never a desire to stop doing some of the things we do. It was just we didn't have time to do more. So
Right. Exactly.
but then it's too late. And then this is my favorite story. It's too late when you don't have time to get on a sales call
Yeah.
because
Yeah, we were there. We were there. Momentum was lost.
momentum was lost because we were not able to do sales calls for a good 2 months.
Yeah.
So how does a person avoid getting there? What do you recommend? What's the action step to avoid being late with their people?
You have to understand what is important in the world that you do. Okay. What is, like, level all of your tasks that you do, figure out the things that you can get off your plate quickly, hire those out, like, quickly, because then you can continue to do, like, perfect example, we could do all the minutia, but the sales call that feeds all the minutia died. So if we don't do the top priority lists of stuff we have to do to keep the company going, and we focus on the minutia, where's the company going to go?
Right.
Right. So I would suggest anyone that's listening to write down all the tasks that you do. Write down all of the stuff that you're working on and prioritize them. Just do 1, 2, 3, top, second, third, all the threes, find a who to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And, maybe there's one or two things that are a three that you just absolutely love doing.
And give away a 2.
You can still do a couple of those things. And a perfect example is podcast audio editing, right? Like we can get people to do it all day long, but there's always going to be some element of doing that in our business for ourselves.
Right.
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 We have people that video edit, but you're always going to have some aspect of video editing in our jobs. It's just we're not so bogged down now. And so anybody listening, find a way to be able to still do what you love, but do it in a fraction so you always love it, not as a have to, right? Do it as a point that you're doing it to stay good at it, to stay relevant with it, to stay in touch with your business. But at the end of the day, do what Ron says you got to do as a CEO, as a business owner, the number ones, and sometimes the number twos, but definitely not the number threes. So, all right.
Exactly.
And then just to finish this up, as you've mapped out what you need to get rid of, you go find that expert in that sense. And then again, I think it just goes back to, let's keep this simple. Start asking around, right? There's people everywhere, whether you make a post on it in social media, whether you post an ad, a job ad, whether you ask your peers or other professionals, like there is somebody out there that will help be able to get whatever it is that you need done.
And understand when you're hiring people, don't hire just the first person. Like take your time, hire slow, fire fast. I hated that statement. So true. So true. Right. All right. No fluff, no BS, just impact. Go make some.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to learn more, head on over to impactorsmastermind.com. We have a special group waiting just for you.
Guys, why are you still listening to this? Get off your phone, go create an impact today.